The Nissan Frontier used to be the king of budget pickups. Simple, tough, and affordable. It was the no-nonsense choice for people who wanted a truck that just worked. But here's the problem. The Frontier isn't what it used to be. It's gotten fancier, more expensive, and when you compare it to today's competition, some serious flaws start showing up. So in this video, we're breaking down 7 reasons why you might want to think twice before buying a Nissan Frontier in 2025. Stay tuned till the end, because reason number 1 is the biggest deal breaker. Reason number 7, driving experience. Here's the thing, the Frontier got a redesign, but under the skin, it's still riding on the same platform from way back in 2005. That's almost 20 years old. What does that mean for you? A driving experience that feels outdated. The ride is stiff. The leaf springs bounce around at higher speeds. And the steering? Still vague and lifeless. Sure, Nissan tried to tweak it, but you'll notice the awkward driving position and the lack of steering wheel adjustability right away. Now, to be fair, the V6 engine is powerful and smooth, so if you only care about straight-line power, you might be happy. But as an everyday driver, the Frontier just isn't as enjoyable or comfortable as rivals. Quick question for you. If you're spending over $30,000 on a truck, would you accept this kind of driving experience? Comment below. Reason number 6, passenger space. You'd think a new generation truck would get roomier, right? Not the Frontier. Since it's still using that old chassis, the interior space hasn't grown much. Yes, the King Cab version prioritizes bed space, which makes sense. But if you go for the Crew Cab, you'll quickly realize Nissan is behind. The second row has tight legroom. Headroom isn't great either. And compared to rivals like the Ranger or Colorado, it feels less like a family truck and more like a compromise. The front seats are comfortable. Nissan still makes some of the best seats in the business. But overall, rivals just give you more space to haul people comfortably. Reason number 5, fuel economy. Here's where Nissan both wins and loses. The Frontier comes standard with a V6 engine, which sounds amazing compared to the 4-cylinder turbos in the Ranger, Tacoma, and Colorado. With 310 horsepower, the Frontier feels smooth and strong. But there's a catch. It's thirsty. Best case, you'll see 18 mpg city and 23 highway with rear-wheel drive. Go for 4x4 and the numbers drop even lower. Meanwhile, competitors' Turbo 4s are more efficient, often 25+ mpg on the highway. And let's not forget, Toyota now offers a hybrid Tacoma that's more powerful and far more efficient. So if you want smoothness, Nissan delivers. But if saving money at the pump matters to you, the Frontier falls short. Reason number 4, standard features and safety. Let's talk safety. By default, the only advanced safety feature you get is automatic emergency braking. That's it. Want blind spot monitoring? Adaptive cruise? Rear cross traffic alert? You'll have to pay extra. And here's the real red flag. The Frontier only scored 4 stars in crash tests, with a weak rollover rating of 3 stars. That's behind many of its rivals. Tech features? Base models feel stripped. You only get a small screen and 4 speakers. Want dual-zone climate, heated seats, or a premium sound system? That's locked behind higher trims, and the price shoots up quickly. Bottom line? The Frontier may look cheaper on paper, but once you add the features you actually want, the value starts disappearing. Reason number 3, ergonomics. At first glance, the Frontier's interior looks pretty nice. The seats, especially Nissan's well-known zero-gravity design, are genuinely comfortable and supportive. But once you spend some time in the cabin, a few frustrating issues start to stand out. For example, some of the controls are oddly placed, like the buttons tucked way down near your left knee. Not exactly convenient when you're driving. Then there's the shiny black trim around the infotainment system. It might look sleek in the showroom, but the moment you touch it, it collects fingerprints and scratches that are impossible to ignore. The instrument cluster is another weak spot. While most rivals are moving to cleaner, more modern digital displays, the Frontier sticks with an outdated setup. A small screen crammed between analog gauges that looks busy and is harder to read at a glance. And then we come back to the steering wheel. The column still lacks proper adjustability, which makes finding the perfect driving position tricky. The wheel itself doesn't feel very premium, and the buttons are placed just a little too far out of reach. Now, one thing Nissan got right is visibility. It's excellent in all directions. But overall, the ergonomics remind you that this truck is built on a design that's been recycled for nearly 2 decades. Reason number 2, off-road performance. If you're looking for a mid-size pickup that can handle serious off-road adventures, is the Nissan Frontier a solid choice? Well, kind of, but not really. Yes, Nissan does offer the Pro 4X trim, and on paper it sounds promising. It comes with Bilstein off-road shocks, skid plates for extra protection, a locking rear differential, and a set of all-terrain tires. That setup makes it capable on trails, and for light to moderate off-roading, it gets the job done. But here's the problem. When you stack it against rivals, the Frontier falls short. The Toyota Tacoma TRD Pro, Chevy Colorado ZR2, and Ford Ranger Raptor all bring more advanced suspension setups, better articulation, and higher overall trail performance. In other words, the Pro 4X feels like a budget alternative rather than a true competitor. Now, Nissan has tried to push things further with the Forsberg Edition package, named after Baja champion Chris Forsberg. It adds upgraded suspension with high-performance shocks, aluminum upper control arms, and 32-inch all-terrain tires. Sounds impressive, right? The catch? It's nearly $10,000 extra on top of whatever trim you buy. And at that price, you're creeping into the territory of trucks that are already designed for hardcore off-roading straight from the factory. So yes, you can make a Frontier trail ready, but the question is, why pay more for less? Reason number 1, towing capacity. When it comes to trucks, towing numbers matter, and this is where the Nissan Frontier takes one of its biggest hits. On paper, its maximum towing capacity is 6,640 pounds with the King Cab. Step up to the Crew Cab, and that number actually drops a bit to 6,910 pounds. Now, compare that to the competition. The Ford Ranger can handle up to 7,500 pounds. The Chevy Colorado and even the Jeep Gladiator stretch that number to around 7,700 pounds. That's a difference of more than 1,000 pounds. And if you're the kind of buyer who tows trailers, boats, or work equipment on a regular basis, that gap could be a deal breaker. Payload capacity is a little better, with the Frontier topping out at just over 1,600 pounds. That's solid, but still not class-leading. Most trims average closer to 300 to 1,500 pounds, which puts it right in the middle of the pack. The one area where the Frontier deserves some credit is consistency. Unlike some rivals, where off-road trims or base 4-cylinder models lose a lot of towing ability, every Frontier, no matter the trim, can tow at least 6,000 pounds. That makes it more predictable across the lineup, which is a plus if you're not buying the maxed-out version. Still, when you look at this segment, numbers matter. People buy mid-sized trucks because they want versatility, and towing is a huge part of that equation. So while the Frontier isn't terrible, it simply can't keep up with rivals who give you more muscle for similar money. And in today's market, where buyers expect capability along with comfort and tech, that shortfall is hard to ignore. What do you think? Would you still buy a Nissan Frontier? Or would you go for a Tacoma, Ranger, or Colorado instead? Let us know in the comments. And if you found this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you never miss our latest truck reviews and comparisons. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.